What is up, shiny people? How's it going? Jim Kamala coming at you live today. I have got probably the number one group of questions I get asked day in, day out, week in, week out. I get this type of question all the time. So if this is you, hey, I ran some ad traffic. What do I do? Do I let it run? Does this look good? Should I kill it? If you've had these questions, you need to pay attention to this Coffee with ShineOn, because I'm going to dive into how I analyze data, how I make decisions off that data, and how I can tell from the data if my funnel is broken, if my ad creative is broken, if my product is just not good enough, all of those things that we need to be able to determine as a ShineOner, right? Like that's the key element is primarily if you're not dealing in one of the marketplaces like an Etsy or an Amazon or Walmart or whatever, right? And you have your own store and you're building your own brand and you're driving your own traffic, this is pivotal to your success. If you can get good at this, you can stop wasting as much money on ads by doing, not letting bad tests run or cutting things that have potential too early, that type of stuff. Plus, it will be a guiding post for you to make sure that you are maximizing your order value, right? Because there are only so many things you can dial in on your ad side, on that front end traffic to make it work. So if you're getting purchases for $40 or under and you're still not profitable, you have two choices. You can either fiddle around with ad creatives and tweaking and trying to pull out some type of bag of trick to fix or to like game the algorithm, which is almost impossible to do now. Like it used to be fairly easy to game the algorithm to your favor. In 2018, I made $2 million in a month and a half gaming the algorithm. Okay, legally, compliantly, all that stuff. But like I knew enough about the algorithm to force Facebook to give me the highest cream of the crop traffic. Unfortunately, they plugged that hole back in October of 2018. Otherwise, I'd be on a beach somewhere, and I don't know if we would know each other. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. Let me go ahead and add my deck. Today, you are going to learn the Rosetta Stone for your ad data. And if you're not a history buff and you have no clue what the Rosetta Stone is, I will talk about it a little bit. But first things first, we've got some housekeeping stuff. So let's get into those. Number one, go ahead and like this post. The more love you share or you show this post, the more my message gets out there. And if you're seeing me for the first time or you're relatively new or you've been around forever, like David Mackey and Deborah Shaw, I love you guys. You show up every week. You're in it to win it. You are committed, and that's what is required because realistically, this is your business, right? It's one thing to say, "Ooh, I want to do this," but if you want life-changing results, it's a business. You have to treat it as such. You have to be as serious about it as you do your job, and probably more so, right? Because this is you are getting to create your own life. So the more love that you show the post, the more people that can see it, the more help that they can get, and the better quality advertising the entire marketplace gets to experience, which is better for everybody. Right? You have better ads, more engagement across the board. Our product catalog gets more love from the algorithms because we're giving what Facebook and TikTok really want, right? And those are our TikTok, Facebook, and Google are really the three main players when it comes to paid ad traffic. And that's for like all of our brand new folks. So drop some love in here. The comment section, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, the comment section is live. I can see them going. StreamYard does ask you to like put your name in. Otherwise, you show up as like Facebook user or YouTube user. So like this person who's Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but thank you for commenting. So feel free to comment, ask questions as we're going. I'm going to try and slow it down as I can. But for those of you who have seen my Coffee with ShineOns before, you'll know that if I start going on something, I tend to talk a little bit faster and I tend to go down rabbit holes. Okay, so I apologize in advance from that. So if I'm saying something and you're interested or you have a question on it or you want clarification, as I'm saying it and as you have that question, go ahead and type it in the comments, okay? And then once I'm done going through the education portion of our time together today, I'll go back through all the comments and answer as many questions as I possibly can. Cool? Cool. All right. So swag winners. Those of you who won swag this week are as follows. Faratimi Segun. If I have mispronounced your name, I greatly apologize in advance on that. So I think it's Faratimi or Faratimi probably. Segun, thank you so much for going. You've won some free swag from us. Keep going. That first sale is so sweet. It's amazing when you get that first. Hey, this could actually be real. I could actually do this. It's such a great feeling. Do not lose hope if you haven't gotten there yet. If you've gotten that first one and haven't gotten that second or third one yet, keep grinding. Just like this says right here, keep going. Okay. Lyndon Scott, you're going to get some more free swag. Or this is last week's recap. So we actually sent out some swag. You can see Lyndon's got his shirt on there and he's saying, thanks so much for the sweet merch. So that's what it is. You post in the group, you interact in the group. So I think we have a slide about how to enter in here. So we have a couple more winners. Deborah Shaw finally did it. This has been a long time. I'm just seeing this now. So I didn't get to see last week. So I'm seeing this now. And I think that you broke 100K in sales. I'm so darn proud of you, Deborah. You're on, right? I think I saw you on. You commented earlier. I am so dang proud of you. I met Deborah last year when she was brand new, trying to figure this all out. Man, so proud of you. More swag coming your way. So here's how you get swag. All right. So this is the rules to follow if you want to enter your chance to win swag. It's not super hard. It's just really contribute to the community, right? We're here to help one another. There is plenty of traffic to go around on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Google, right? There's a ton of people out there that need gift items, especially nowadays, right? So share some love. What types of posts will get you qualified to enter? Excuse me, for the free swag, a testimonial post, screenshot of your sales, a value post of what's working. So, or tips, tricks, or hacks. So what I'm going to cover today in Coffee with ShineOn would be classified as like a value post. It's long-winded. You don't have to do a big, long video like me. But if you found something that you do routinely in your business that helps you succeed in your business and you want to share it, that would enter you in for free swag. Or if you found just a quick tip, trick, or hack, that will also get you qualified for that free swag. So congratulations to all of our swag winners. I love it. Keep it going. And for those of you who want to enter, all you have to do is interact in the group. Make posts. Make them high quality. Make them valuable. Even if you're like, oh, I don't know if it's valuable. It is. Because even if you're on step 5 of your journey in ShineOn, there are lots of people that are trolling in the group that are too shy to interact, that are still on step 1, and they need that encouragement from a step 5er, right? Or a step 3er. All right, let's move on. Latest news from ShineOn. We have extended support hours starting tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, October 7th, 2023, because of Q4, we are going to expand our support hours to help support each and every one of you amazing ShineOn merchants. We are going to 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern time. So that is a new end time, same starting time. And then we're going to add Saturday and Sunday support hours from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time, both Saturday and Sunday. So if you're really grinding for Q4 and you run into a roadblock or an issue with the app or something like that, please feel free to reach out to our customer support. We are on standby, ready to help you solve your issue. Now, I'm going to clarify. If you have a problem with Shopify, you need to go to Shopify chat support because there's very limited things that we can do. If you have a problem with ShineOn and ShineOn's app or something to go with that, that's for us. If your Facebook account gets shut down or your TikTok account gets banned or something like that, the only thing we can tell you is how to contact Facebook or TikTok support, right? So I guess what I'm saying is if you need help from us in any way, shape or form, relate it to ShineOn, please reach out to us. That's what we're there for. But if it's like my cart's broken, or something like that, or I don't know how to change my logo on Shopify, something like that. That question goes to Shopify because that's their product, that's their expertise. Our expertise is in our app and doing our stuff. So I just don't want. I want us to make sure that we're focused on ShineOn questions to our ShineOn chat support. Showing some love to our ShineOn support staff because they are absolute rock stars. But if you need help and you don't know where to go, reach out to us and we'll make sure you get to where you need to go. Cool. All right. New products. And for some reason, I don't know why, whenever I import the slide deck into StreamYard, all of the GIFs go away. And I feel bad because Brooke worked so hard on creating these graphics that are all going and stuff. So I don't know if stuff is going on your end and I just don't see it on my end. But this is designed to show you all the different new acrylic sign shapes that we have. So our acrylics, we launched those early this year and they just flew like shot out of a cannon on success rates, right? So real quick and dirty, how do you do acrylics? You take really successful messages that have worked in the past and you just apply them to acrylics, right? So that's the easiest way. There's a bajillion ways to make this work that aren't anything to do with message cards. You just got to put your thinking cap on. And that's not what this talk is about. Maybe I can talk about it in a different Coffee with ShineOn. But for quick and dirty, just whatever messages used to work really well or still do on message cards, try them on the acrylics because that's what's working, right? Like people are loving those. We've added a bunch of new shapes, so make sure you check your product catalogs for the shapes. If this GIF worked, it would have all the different shapes would kind of cycle through because I saw it earlier. But for some reason, I don't see that it's animating, so I'll have to figure that out. But check your catalogs because it should be active in the ShineOn app inside the product catalog, okay? And they are also, the new shapes are now also available in the EU, so it's not just a North America-based product as well. All right, so the best way to stay caught up is you want to go into our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, it is ShineOn Profits on Demand, absolutely free. Thank you for letting me know there is no animation. So I have to get with StreamYard or present the deck a different way so that we can get the animation or going forward, just anything that's vital that we really want to show off can't be an animation form, which stinks because I like the animation. It's fun. So I have to figure, I'm sure there's a different way to present the deck during this part. So actually, give me a second. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. On the fly. I don't think that's going to work. All right. I don't want to hold you guys up by figuring this out. So if you want to see the different shapes and you don't know what they are, please go again to your product catalog and you'll get them there. To stay caught up on everything, if you have to join the ShineOn Profits on Demand Facebook group, go to featured, and then like our Coffee with ShineOns are pinned there. Any major posts or updates or stuff like that from us will be pinned to that featured section. And then one more call out before we get into the nuts and bolts and the meat and potatoes of that. If you live in the Philippines, if you're local to the Philippines, and you want to attend the OG Ecom Mastermind, one of our organizers of that Ecom Mastermind is our very own Marvin Espina. And he reached out saying, hey, I'd love to get some more local Filipinos to come to our event. So if you are interested and you're local in the Philippines, the reason I'm saying that is that it's live, right? You physically have to go there. They're going to cover Q4 revenue boosting strategies, 2023 advertising, conversion rate optimization. Marvin's going to do a special section on print on demand, ShineOn products. So if you are interested in that, the email address to contact about where to go, how to get involved, that kind of thing is on the slide. I will leave that up here for just a couple extra seconds. And so if you want that, just write that down or screenshot. And I'm going to move on from the slide in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. If you need the email address and you didn't get it yet or whatever, just post it in the comments section and we'll add it to the comments as well. Okay. So let's go on from here. Oh, hello, Cooper. Mom must have forgot that I've got Coffee with ShineOn. So here's my obligatory, hey, look, it's my son who wanted to come and say hi because I'm on with Coffee with ShineOn. So say hi, Cooper. Do you see Dada? Dada's about to jump into a coffee cup because we're gonna pass some knowledge on to all of our amazing merchants. Okay? Huh? Yeah.
Then jump in coffee cup.
Yeah,
people pick up coffee cup and drink you.
That's right. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right. You say bye-bye. And can you go downstairs with Mama, please?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Love you, buddy. Okay. Yep. You go work downstairs. All right, buddy? All right. So he always has to come up over the last couple of times. So if you have small kids, you'll understand where I'm coming from, right? So, all right. So again, I finally get my face on the jumping into the Coffee with ShineOn cup, and I don't get to see the animation. So now I'm really disappointed. So I promise for the next time I will have that fixed so I can show I'll have to get with StreamYard again or present a different way. So, all right, let's go on to the next one. We cannot start our Coffee with ShineOn without the Digital Marketer's Toast. So hopefully you have your beverage. My beverage of choice today is Perrier. If you don't like Perrier, the reason I don't do coffee for the Digital Marketer's Toast for Coffee with ShineOn is I actually don't drink coffee. So it's like, meh. Anyways, so raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, or flasks, and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, to upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales, to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also in your email flows. Ready? Cheers. All right. Who's ready to get into some meat and potatoes of this? Preamble is all done. I did my housekeeping stuff. We are ready to go. Now, for those of you that don't know about the Rosetta Stone was this ancient thing that had all 3 different major languages on there, and it was a way to translate between them all. So when you are staring at, your ads manager, actually, I think I can show. There we go. When you're staring at your ad manager and you're looking at, holy cow, I've got all these numbers and these columns and all this stuff. How do I make decisions from this, right? Like how do you choose what to do? So that's the point of today is showing you how to apply basically my Rosetta Stone, how I interpret, how I translate what I see from the ad data and what actions I can take based off of looking at that data. Okay. So first things first, and for those of you who have been in this game for a little longer, bear with me on this slide. I just want to make sure everybody is caught up. For those of you who are new or don't have your ads manager set up properly or are still looking at the default setup, meaning the default columns. This is how I personally have my ads manager set up. And I had to break it up because Facebook likes to have 7,000 columns or 7,000 different actions here. So again, it would be a great slide for you guys to take a screenshot of so you can apply it later. Obviously, you don't need to write down every single thing. So I would just take a screenshot of your phone if you're watching on your phone, or a screenshot of the image on your computer. And I'll give that up for another 5-10 seconds. And then we'll move on to how we apply, once we are looking at the data, how we do the things that we need to do. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you miss it, you'll just have to catch the replay, pause it, and then take the screenshot. Now, from here, let me go ahead and blow this up a little bit so I can see it. All right, cool. This screenshot is what I usually, the section of the ads manager that I look at first. Okay, so you'll see CPM, those are cost per, that's like the ad cost. If your ad cost is above, well, okay, so if your ad costs are like $40 or higher, something's wrong. Just going to point that out to you guys. If you're brand new, meaning I just have a brand new ad account, brand new store, I'm starting this for the first time, blah, blah, blah. And I've got like $40 to $80 CPMs. What the heck is going on? What the heck is going on is Facebook is seasoning your ad account. So if you have super high CPMs and your ad account is new, or you just don't have a lot of ad spent on it, and it's not a lot, it's like maybe $50 or under, right? Like you have no ad spend on the thing at all. Facebook will start your traffic with really, so even if you say, I want Facebook to show my ads to everybody on Facebook, so it's like 1 billion people, Facebook is going to choose tiny, tiny little segments to show your ads to based off of what the algorithm sees in your ad, right? So whatever ad you put up there, whether it's an image or a video, Facebook algorithm knows, okay, this dude is selling, or this girl is selling a necklace, this person's selling an acrylic, this person's selling a car, right? Like it knows. It knows, it can read the text. It has to read the text to see if there's anything non-compliant in the text, meaning profanity or hate speech, that kind of thing. So it reads your ads. What are our ads, right? Our products primarily are based off of emotional words with a cool product. Somehow, whether it's a jewelry product together or an acrylic piece together or what have you, right? It's emotional words with a cool keepsake. So it knows exactly who you're selling to, and who you are as far as who's going to buy it, who's it going to go to, all this stuff. So it can pick out of a 1.2 billion people, it'll pick a very small segment of people, very high quality people, to see how they're going to interact with your ads. This will quality rank your ad account right off the bat. Well, Facebook charges a premium to do that, just like TikTok charges a premium to do that. Now, TikTok's CPMs do that same thing. They'll spike as a brand new ad account too, but not usually as high. Facebook gets a little bit higher, but again, it's temporary. It is not forever, especially if your ads do interact as well as an ad should, right? If you have the worst product on planet Earth and nobody interacts with it at all, even on that super high quality thing, that high quality pool of traffic, then your CPMs will stay high. And then you just have a bum ad account, and you need to like scrap the ad account, start a new ad account, have much better products on it, and start the process over. So what if you have a brand new ad account and your CPMs are way, way high, like above $50, give it a day or two, see if they start coming down, because Facebook over time will learn that it can expand your audience. When your CPMs go down in price, let's say they start at $35, and then day 2, they're like $25. And then day 3, they're at like $16. What it's doing is, and this happens whether you have a season ad account or not, it will start with, here's my big pool of, where am I? There I am. Big pool of audience. And it'll start with like a really narrow, there we are, a really narrow subsection of that audience. And then as it goes, well, it worked well here. Will it work well here? Your CPMs go down because your pool gets bigger. Will it work well here? CPMs go down again because these metrics stay relatively stable. Okay. So I will also say that when you're looking at your data, you want to focus on, in the beginning, you want to focus on the relationship between CPM and link click-through rate. Okay. These will fluctuate with each other. What do I mean by that? So I have a 1.36. You can't look at click-through rate in a vacuum. Okay. You can't. You have to look at cost per link click as to judge whether or not you have a viable winner or not. Here's why. I have a 1.36 click-through rate. Okay. And my cost per link click is $1.97. If I'm judging off of click-through rate and I'm determining between the first 2 rows here, the 1.36 and the 1.09, if I go off a click-through rate, I'm going to kill the 1.09, right? Because it's less than 1.36. But if you look at the real number, the important number, and you look at cost per click, the second one at $1.48 is actually much better than $1.97, right? It's a good 30% less or more. I think it's like 40% less cost-wise than the first one, even though the first one had a higher CTR. Now, why does that happen? It happens because the first one is more expensive traffic. The CPM on the first row is $26. The second row is only $16. Okay, so there's a relationship between the higher your CPM, the higher your link CTR, click-through rate, must be, so that your traffic cost stays under the threshold that we're looking for, okay? And what threshold am I looking for? So this is when I'm first testing ads. Here's 10 products, let's throw them up there. Here's 20 products, let's throw them up there. Let's see what happens. Now, when I test a product set, meaning I test a set of products, so 5 products, 10 products, 20 products, whatever it is, I am judging on 2 things. I'm judging against each other, and I'm judging based off the metrics you see over to the right-hand side here. So after about $5 to $10 in ad spend per ad set, right? So not I'm running 20 products and I've spent $10 on the account. Let me go turn stuff off. It's per product. And the way I set my stuff up is when testing, I have 1 ad set per product, right? So an ad set equals a product. So I'm looking at each one of these rows is an ad set. Each one of these rows is a product, okay? So after $5 or $10 to spend on each row, each product, each ad set, right? But it's all the same $5, $10, whatever. If my CPC link is greater than $2, so this column, CPC, cost per link click, if it's greater than $2, I tend to kill it. Now you'll notice on this screenshot, there's one down here that has a $2.47 cost per link click. And it ran for quite a while. It ran for 6,300 link clicks. Why would I do that? Because there's always an exception to the general rule. The general rule when I'm testing things is after $5 to $10 in ad spend on the product, if my CPC link cost is greater than $2, you're done. It's not worth it. It's not, especially if I'm testing 10 products and 3 of the products have under $2 and 7 of the products don't. Why would I hope and pray the other 7 fix themselves? Why wouldn't I just kill them and focus on the 3 that have real potential, right? Now, in the case of this one, the $2.47 one, it had already had a sale. We are in the purchase business, right? We don't get paid off of cheap link clicks. We get paid off of people buying. So even though this traffic was slightly more expensive at $2.47 versus like $1.38, I get it. It's like $1 more expensive traffic. It was still converting high enough to make me money. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm in business for, is to make money. Is it the best ROAS on this ad set? No. Do I care? Not really. Why? Because it's money. I can't spend ROAS. I can spend money. Hopefully that all makes sense, right? So when I'm first testing things, all things being equal, if I have after $10 in an ad set, if I have an add to cart, an initiate checkout, or a purchase, you're staying on longer because that's a higher intent with that product, okay? The pool of traffic today may not be super great, but of the pool of traffic today, they were really interested because I got an add to cart or initiate checkout or purchase, right? So if you have a higher event, so a further down the funnel, like add to cart, after $5 or $10, I don't really care what my cost per link click is. I'm going to let it run longer. Okay. Does that make sense? So if I have no add to carts and I'm looking at these in isolation, I'm going to automatically, even if they're all under $2, the 3 that are the most expensive, goodbye. The bottom 30%, bye-bye. Why? Because I'm not here. My business is not a participation game. You don't get a trophy as a product just because you're under $2. If you're at $1.97 and I've got 5 other products at $1.30, sorry, you're not as good as the other ones. So I'm going to let the other ones run and I'm going to save a little bit of testing budget. Okay. Does that make sense? So again, the Rosetta Stone. I look at all this crazy stuff. I focus on this column, cost per link click. I look over at add to carts after $5 or $10. And again, I say I give that range based off of your individual budget. Okay. I go off of $10, but I've been in this for like 12 years. I have budget. If you're just starting out like I did 12 years ago, $10 times 10 products is $100. That's a lot of money. I've been there. I understand that. That's why I say, okay, if you can't afford $100 for an initial test to see if you've got any, potential there, don't do as many products. Do 3 products at $10. I would rather you do less products that you put a lot of time and effort in than blast 10 products. And I would rather you do 3 products at $10 than 6 products at $5. Okay. Because I want you to give each product enough of a chance. And in my personal opinion, if you have given $10 of traffic to a product and you haven't gotten back 5 clicks or more, it's probably not the winner you want to focus on. Okay. And then you can just do 3 products at a time, 3 products until you find that one that's like, oh, this one's $1.50. I'm going to let this one run. I'm going to kill the other 2 and just put my budget right on there. Now, if you have one that's going at $1.50, do you go the next day and start new product tests? Nope. Focus on this one. See what happens with it. Maybe duplicate it and increase that budget a little bit. Duplicate it and change the audience or the interest a little bit. Okay. See if you can get that next event. So what is the next event after link click? Technically, it's cost per content view, but realistically, it's I don't make decisions in my business off of cost per content view. I use it to see if there is a technical problem in my funnel. What do I mean by that? If I have a cost per link click of $1.97 and I have a cost per view content of like $4, something's broken, because this is tracked very accurately now, because this happens on Facebook. This is the last event that occurs in the Facebook app or on the Facebook website. So it's first party data. Facebook can track all of this. Make sense? Okay. Cost per content view is always going to be higher than cost per link click. Why? Because this is now turns into third party tracking. Facebook can't track every single click. Some people click on the ad and mistakenly clicked on the ad and then hop off before the page loads. The page has to fully load before the content view can fire. That's why there's slippage here. That's why the cost per content view is more expensive across the board. Look at it. There's not one in here. The closest one is my 247 to 250, right? That is why I focus on this. And so, but I do still have this up. Jim, if we don't use it to make a decision off of, why do we still look at it? Because I want to make sure that I got the right link, that it's loading a page, that my website's not broken, that my server's not down. Make sense? So I still use this to check this, the integrity of the funnel structurally. Like, does it actually function? But my next decision point after my cost per link click is on add to cart. Okay, so here's my add to cart. My add to cart, so what do you look at next? When I'm looking at it, if I've spent $5 or $10 on a testing budget, let's say $10 an ad set, I'm going to first look to see, do I have a purchase? If I have a purchase, you're staying on. Do I have an initiate checkout? If I have an initiate checkout, you're staying on. If I have an add to cart, you're staying on. Okay, if I have none of those, or if I have 10 products that I'm testing, one of them has an add to cart, the other 9 don't. Does that mean I kill all the other 9 and I focus on the add to cart? Depends, honestly. If like my cost per link click is $1 or something super cheap, and that one's really, if that one overall on the up funnel metrics, what I mean by that is this first set. If my CPC all is off the charts in comparison to the aggregate, it's big words, I get it. Let's say all of these are 1. CTR all is all, let's say it's 2% on CTR all, but this one is 6%. So all 2s and a 6%. And then this one, cost per link click, is all ranging between $4 and $2. And then this one's $1, right? And then this one also has the add to cart. Yes, in that situation, I would kill all the other 9 and I would just focus on this one because I struck a nerve somewhere. And that one's going to be a super good winner for me. I wish I could say it was always going to be that easy. Oftentimes it's not. Oftentimes it looks like this, right? Where things are relatively close to one another. So what you would do is you would keep the one that has the add to cart. And that would be like my primary victor so far after $10 in ad spend. Then I would go out of the 10, I would choose another 4 that were the best link clicks. Now, if I had more than 4, so I have my cheapest link click here is $1.33, then $1.38, then $1.40, then $1.48. So those are my 4, right? But Jim, I have $1.54 here. It's close to 48. Should I? That's a judgment call. That's your business. You decide, do you want 6 going or do you want 5 going? It's totally up to you. You get to make that choice, right? You're not going to lose your business. Your business is not going to implode on the decision of, do I keep this 6th one on or not, right? If you have more budget, test the 6th one and see if it gets a sale before one of these. Because you're not guaranteed, just because you have cheap traffic, it doesn't mean that product is going to be a good seller. It just passes the first test, okay? So the second test comes at the add to cart stage. And after $35 to $50 in ad spend per ad set, that's why we kill products as we go on the phases of the test. That way we can recoup the ad budget that we were spending on the bottom 5 products in our initial 10. So that be $50, right? 5 times $10, that $50 can now go to those top 5. So I can afford to spend more money on that, and I keep my daily maximum budget that I can afford to spend intact. And I look, after $35 to $50 in ad spend, if my add to cart is greater than $20, it's gone. Goodbye, right? Unless there's a purchase. So this one, my add to cart down here, the second one on the bottom, is $22.16. That's above $20. I would kill it normally, but I got a purchase. So I'm going to let it run, right? That's what we do. Down funnel events supersede up funnel choices. Meaning, general rule is this: after $35 to $50 in ad spend, if my add to carts are more expensive than $20, it's going to be really hard to get a purchase that is profitable. Might as well go ahead and kill it and start over. What do I mean by kill it and start over? We'll talk about that on our funnel a little bit later. But that's our rule. If you spend 35, now why do I say $35 to $50? It's more than 20, which means you should have at least one add to cart. And ideally, if you spent $35, you have 2, because that's $17.50, right? And if you look, the ones that have spent, and I've gotten 783 purchase, 673 purchase, 12, 16, 14, 14, 15, 14, 14. Then I start getting in the 17, 22, and 19, right? So now that's ideally what I want to stay under. I give it a maximum of $20, and it gives it a chance to get 2 under 17, because things work out really well for me if add to carts are under $17. Okay. So again, it depends on your budget. If you have the budget, spend $50 total. This is total, not in a day, total, right? So we spend $10 total, make a cut based off of cost per link click, or if they have purchases or add to carts or whatever. Then you go after $35 to $50, again, depending on budget. The more budget you give something, the higher chance you have of it optimizing. Yes, that is a true thing. Okay. But in an ideal world, hey, my add to carts are great. After $35, I've got 2. Happy days for me. Go on to the next phase, right? So the second step is your add to carts. And finally, we're going to focus on purchases. Wait a minute, Jim. Why do we skip initiate checkouts? Because initiate checkouts can vary wildly. Plus, they will vary wildly, like this one down here for $177. Jim, why did you leave this running? You had great add to carts, horrible initiate checkouts, okay purchases, and pretty decent ROAS, right? For 276 purchases. Why would I do that? Because on this particular product, I had a buy it now button on the product page. So it didn't track any initiate checkouts because it never went. My initiate on Shopify, initiate checkout is fired when the continue to checkout button when you go to the cart, whether it's a slide out or a pop up, or you go to the cart page, when you click continue to checkout, that's where initiate checkout fires. Okay. Not when checkout loads. So because this was a buy it now and it went from product page directly to checkout and it skipped the cart, didn't have an event to fire. Right? So there's a lot of variables. You can also see initiate checkouts vary wildly on this. $21, $59, $33, $36, $177, $55. And across the board, that was still pretty relevant, pretty stable or close purchases. That's why I use initiate checkout to make sure the event is firing. When I first saw this, I'm like, something's broken. And then I went and looked at the product. I was like, oh, it's me. I forgot I used the buy it now on this particular product. Okay. So if you see something like this, where you have add to carts 1770 and initiate checkouts are $177, something's broken. with your event firing. So it's either the pixel isn't done properly, something's functionally wrong with the store, or like in my case, you have the buy it now button on. Okay. So that's why I focus on my last decision. So it's cost per link click, cost per add to cart, cost per purchase. After $50 to $100 in ad set spent, again, remember this is total spend on your test. If the purchase, if you have a purchase, but your purchase cost is greater than $50, kill it. Because it's probably, unless you have a very robust back end, if it's above $50, it's not going to work. So you can see this at $77, 1.14 ROAS, slightly negative for that product. Okay. Turned it off. That's why I didn't run for 783 purchases. This was all running an aggregate of each other. So I was looking at what they would refer to as MER, which is your overall, I spent this much on ads. I made this much gross profit. Gross profit minus ads is my profit. Did I make money? I made money. Great. I'm not touching the ads. Okay. So this based off a fully developed product funnel, meaning with post-purchase upsells. So this is a very big caveat. If you are selling a hero product and you have no back end, you will not be profitable with a $50 CPA. A CPA is cost per purchase. Okay. The only reason I'm profitable up to a $50 CPA is because I have a back end, meaning I charge shipping. I have post-purchase upsells for people to buy potentially 2 other things. I send them a welcome email immediately after purchase for them to come back and buy for somebody else at a discount, a fairly sharp discount, like 35, 40%. Why am I okay with that? Well, on a $50, let me do the math for you. On a $50 front-end hero product, 35% of that is $17.50. Okay. 40% of that is $20. Think of it as it's costing you $20 to get another $50 sale. Why would you not be okay with that when you're okay with $50 first purchase sales? Right? So just if I give you $20 extra off for coming back and buying something within the next 4 hours or 3 hours from when you first bought, and you do it, and it costs me 20, I just saved half for my cost per purchase. So that you have to think like that. Okay. You have to think end game, money in, money out. I need to make sure I'm making a lot of money, right? And not so much on, well, my ROAS is below 2 here, so therefore I need to kill it. Why? Break even's like 1.3, 1.4. It's making money at scale. Go for it. At 673 sales, did I make the greatest margins? Nope. Who cares? It's money, right? You can't spend ROAS. You spend money. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful, right? This is how I dissect my data. I look at all of the data, but I focus on 3 main columns for decisions. I make decisions in the cost per link click column. Okay. After $10. I look at cost per add to cart column after $35 to $50. And I look at cost per purchases after $50 to $100. And again, you have to figure out your budget, right? Like what can you afford to spend on each product test? Cool, right? Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Let me go ahead and exit full screen. And I have questions on this stuff, please post in the comments now because I'm going to move on. But that way you've captured what the questions are now. You don't forget questions and I can come back and answer questions, right? Boil it down to what it's binary with a check. What I mean by that, it's a binary decision. If to fire the event, $10 are spent, is my cost per link click more than $2? First, check. Do I have an add to cart? If I don't have an add to cart, and I have a cost per link click more than $2 after $10 in ad spend, goodbye. If that's all of your products, guess what? Your products weren't good enough. And that's okay. A lot of us, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. This is Jim's soapbox session for today. A lot of us are so scared to fail, we fail to act. You're so scared of failure. I can't see your sheet. It's blurry. Could you guys see it before? Hold on. If you can't see the sheet, I'll figure out how to send screenshots, or maybe I'll just post the deck underneath in the comments after I'm done with the live. Okay. And it could just be your streaming is not great. I don't know. But if you, where's my thought process? See, that's why I can't look at the comments. I get squirrel moments on there. If you are afraid to fail, I want you to do one of two things. Either overcome it or understand that long-term, this business model may not be for you. This is not a brag on my part, so please don't take it as such. I have generated tens of millions of dollars. I've made a profession out of failing. Every time I start a new product test, 90% of what I test fails. 90%. Think about it. When you go to school, and if you get a 10% on a test, we are admonished. We are brought down. We are called a failure. Why did you do that? It puts such a negative connotation on it, right? And now I'm literally sitting here telling you that your business model will only survive and thrive if you're okay with failing 90% of the time and only getting a 10% on each test. That's a lot of programming that I have to overcome and you have to overcome. So I get it. If you struggle with this stuff and you're like, oh, this isn't going to work because I tested 2 products. It may not for you if that's it. It's harder to do, and I forget the famous dude that gave the quote. So if someone remembers who did this quote, then go ahead and give credit, because I did not create this quote. Every failure gets you closer to your success. Okay? You need one product to scale. If you've seen me do anything for any length of time, you've probably seen me talk about the $1 million I did in like 2 months. So I did $1 million in sales of ShineOn products in like a month and a half. I have done as much as $7.5 million in 2.5 months. You don't need many products to change your life. You need to find and be committed to finding that one product that will allow you to change your life. And I can't tell you, you have to commit X number of dollars to this and that. I'm not in your situation, right? So what I can tell you is if you try 2 or 3 products with ads and you spend $100 or $200 or something like that, and it's not working for you, and you give up, it's not the business model that failed. You only fail when you give up. And I get it. Times are rough. It's hard, right? Like it's hard to keep going. And it's like, I'm going to put this money in and I hope it works. And you get the same result, right? Because then it feels like over and over again, you're failing and failing and failing. But I promise you, every failure is a step closer to your first success. All right. So I get off my stop. I get off my stump and we can move on. But sometimes I do that. I get off of, like I said, I eat a little ADHD and then I get off on tangent. So apologize for that. But I want you guys to understand that Q4 is the greatest opportunity that you'll have all year long to make life-changing money. So if you've been holding back, if you've been afraid to test something, if you've tested in the past, like maybe you got started in June or July and you tested a couple things and they didn't really work out, and you're like, oh, this just isn't for me. And you're here because you're like, maybe there is chance. You have the greatest chance of the entire year starting this month and going to November. Because by like the second week of November, you should, right now is the perfect time to test products, to find and scale. We have merchants right now already scaling for Q4. That's crazy to me. It's a little early for me, but it can happen. I can never promise that it will happen. I can never promise that you'll ever find that success, right? I can tell you my personal experience. I tested. Now, this is a long time ago. This is 2012. Okay, so let me take you back to 2012. It took me 13 t-shirts to find my first viral one. Okay, now, because of where we are as a mature marketplace, e-commerce is so much more mature, all that stuff, it may take 20. So don't give up. Have faith that you are one step closer to the right things. This training that I'm doing right now is not a one-time Netflix and chill type of episode. This is $18 million of ad spend and 12 years of experience dumped into an hour call. It's a lot. I think I saw somebody in comment and she's like, holy cow, this is a lot of information. Yep. You're going to want to watch this one several times over and over again until it clicks. And when it clicks, you'll never be able to unsee it, which is so cool because then data becomes really easy to do. Okay. All right. So let's move on. The next part that I want to talk about, and if you've gone through any trainings that I've done, I've talked a lot about using the data to identify problems in your funnel, not just problems with your ads. Because realistically, your ads can only do so much. If you have a bunch of ads on your products and they're all under $2 cost per link click, your ads are doing their job. Just putting that out there. Your ads are performing their duties if you have under $2 cost per link click. So if your cost per link click looks like this, and then I did another extreme example, right? Like if your cost per add to cart $60 to $50, you have a product page problem. Okay? Something is amiss on your product page. If you have under $2 traffic and you have $30, $40 add to carts, something's wrong with the product page. Not your ads. Your ads are fine because the ads job is to get a cost per link click under $2. That's its only job. Its only job. Now, the only thing that might happen on your ads that are performing well and causing an add to cart to not happen within our parameters, right? The only thing that might happen, and I've seen it happen in a store, where if the product page is offering customization, like a text block that you have to fill out or something like that, and the ad doesn't say anything about personalize the product. So my ad is just, here's my product, but you don't do a text bubble or a call out in the thing or anywhere that says, personalize this, make it your own, customize, whatever. You don't call out that can create a disconnect, which could jack up your add to carts. Now, a lot of you like to add a bunch of third-party apps onto your product page. Please don't. Just stop. Remove them. Why? At the very least, they're going to add page speed. They're going to add page load time, right? The longer it takes for your pages to load, the less people are going to sit there and wait for them to load. And by what I mean impact-wise, if it takes 3 seconds to load your page instead of 1 second to load your page, you just lost 15% of your traffic. That's catastrophic to your success, okay? The other thing that will kill your thing, that third-party apps or even an email provider or a text message provider, if you have a pop-up, like a Wheelio thing or a coupon to join our email newsletter, if you click an ad and go to your page and the very first thing you get is a pop-up, you just lost 20% of your traffic. Please do not have a pop-up on landing. If you have to have a pop-up because you're trying to build your email list or your SMS list and you're enticing people with a discount, make sure it's functional and only on exit intent. meaning if they're on a desktop, they take their mouse and they put it up towards the top bar to navigate away, then it would pop up. If it's on a mobile phone, usually exit intent is I'm scrolling down slowly and then I start swiping up fast, then that would show, because I'm swiping up fast to get to the top of the browser so I can go back. That would be exit intent. My preference is that you just don't use them. Just don't use them. The email pop-ups, I've done it. I've done this. This is experience, right? I had it on for quite a while, and my email list got huge, and my email revenues got giant and all this stuff. I thought it was fantastic. It's like, yeah, we absolutely have to do this. And then I started looking at the data from like comparing old data to this data. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not making any more money. The reason is because you have to entice someone with a discount to get them to opt into your email. So you're already shaving off margin automatically, right? Plus you get traffic loss. Plus then you have, the email portion goes up, but most of the people that opted into your thing were already gonna buy anyways. Like the email pop-up, the extra 10% off or 15% off wasn't the enticement for them to buy. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not buying this. Oh, but yes, now I'll buy it for 15% off. That's very small. It was too small a percentage of people that you flipped from a I'm on the fence buyer and you flipped to being a buyer. The percentage of those conversions, extra conversions, did not overcome the loss of the discount revenue. So when I discount on an email and I say, hey, opt into our email and get 10% off or 15% off, that loss of revenue was greater than the amount of revenue, extra revenue earned from converting people that were not going to buy and ended up buying. And I have that over about $3 million of sales. Just throwing that one out there too. Okay. So what else could be a problem with your product page? If it's not a pop-up and you don't have a bunch of third-party apps slowing your page down, then it's probably your price. It's really not that complicated, y'all. A product page will function well if you get good quality traffic from Facebook or TikTok and you're under your parameters. On Facebook, it's under $2, okay? Your add to cart should be roughly 20 bucks. Could you get away with 22? Sure. Could you get away with 30? Probably not. Okay, 25, it's your call. You decide if you want to let the ads run a little bit. Maybe it'll optimize a little more and the add to cart cost will come down. If you see something like this, something is structurally broken. Okay, if you have good quality, cheap traffic and it's going to a page and you're not getting add to cart costs down to under 20 bucks, then something is wrong with the product page. And it's either page speed, the simplicity of the page, or your price. Those are the only three things it can be. Okay? So if you have it now, traffic on TikTok is usually cheaper than Facebook, and it usually performs worse. Okay? So if you're on TikTok and you're looking at the cost per link click column, I don't run a lot of traffic on TikTok, so I don't have the metric off the top of my head. I'd like to say $1.50 or under, maybe $1 or under. Again, I would have to look at it in comparison to all of the products I'm running. So if I'm running 10 products and I have 3 of them running a cost per link click at 65 cents, and then I've got the rest of them $1 and then a couple more at $1.20 or something like that, I'm going to focus on the ones that are like 50 cents, 65 cents, right? So I've got cheap traffic. You're still looking for a cost per add to cart of below $20. So even though you're getting a lot more traffic, it's not going to convert as well as it does on Facebook. TikTok's algorithm is not as good as Facebook's yet. Okay. So summarize this page. If you've got a problem in your ad data, I got good traffic. Jim says, man, if you're under $2 CPC link click, then you should be getting an add to cart roughly between 20, 25 bucks or less, right? And I'm at a $35. Something's wrong on your product page. You either got an app in there that's like blocking it. You've added a bunch of convoluted, if you've got a bunch of variants on there. So let's say you have one of our products and it's got like 2 or 3 variants on the thing where they have to have 2, 3, they have to push a button 2 or 3 times before they push the add to cart. Okay. And you've got a product with really good traffic, but your add to carts are too expensive. Remove the variants. Pick the one that the ad is about. If the ad has the mahogany box and it's gold, yellow gold, just remove all the other options besides the mahogany box and the yellow gold and see what that does for your cost per add to cart. Because simplicity matters. The more buttons you ask someone to push besides the add to cart button, the more expensive it's going to be. It's just reality. People don't have patience anymore. Okay. And then obviously if your price is not resonating, and it doesn't mean that your price is too high, like your price could be too cheap and people are just like, oh, this must be a scam. There's no way that that product is that cheap, right? That is a conversation people have. Okay. So, if you're in the add to carts and your add to carts are all under your 20 bucks, okay, just like this. Yep, we're in line. Yep, we're good. Add to carts are good. So my cost per link click's under 2, my cost per add to cart's under 20, my initiate checkout's $55. Oh my gosh, something's wrong there. Guess what? Your problem is in your cart page. Okay? The people are clicking on the cart, but they're not getting to the checkout. So something's wrong there. More than likely, it's because you're using Dawn's default pop-up thing. If you use the Dawn theme in Shopify, by default, it's this tiny little like upper window thing that like pops down. You add to cart and it pops down, right? For whatever reason, people hate that. And initiate checkouts will suffer from it. So I say err on the side of caution. You can split test it later and figure out what works best for you. But for Q4, put it on page. You go into online store, then you go to themes, then you click on the button over to the right that says customize, and then you go over to the left and you scroll down to I think it's like advanced settings or something like that, or you select or theme settings, sorry, and then you select cart, and then the type of cart that you do is page, which means when someone clicks the add to cart button, they go to the cart page. That should fix your initiate checkout. Okay. If you have it on page and your initiate checkout is still jacked up, something's amiss on the cart page. So you go look at the cart page and go, what's wrong with this page? Sometimes spacing gets off whack, or you've got like credit cards up there and they're covering the button, or there's a glitch or something like that, right? But if you have a big disparity, so I'm in line, I'm passing my metrics, I've got good quality traffic, it's under $2, my add to carts are under 20 bucks. Why are my initiate checkouts over 50? And why do I say over 50? Because I want my purchases to be 50 or less. My purchases darn sure are not going to be $50 or less if my initiate checkouts are more than 50, right? So there's something structurally wrong with your cart to checkout process. And finally, if your initiate checkouts are good, what is a good initiate checkout? Upper 20s to low 30s is where you want it to be. But your cost per purchases are really high. Something's wrong with the checkout process. Something's broken. Okay. And I've seen it happen. Somebody tries to add some type of third-party app or some type of script and it screws up the checkout. I've seen it to where the checkout buttons are a different color than the add to cart and cart page buttons. And that can throw off your thing. So whatever color the add to cart button is, that's what your cart page button needs to be. And it's what your checkout button's color needs to be. Also, the other thing that has actually helped cost per purchases that I've noticed is in the logo section, because you can't customize much in a Shopify thing. In the logo section, add some type of one trust badge up in the top. So create a new logo and then have your actual logo on the left, have some empty space, and on the right, add some type of trust badge. That will help. Okay. So if you see something like this, something is structurally wrong with the checkout process. Shopify just, I think, made it default now to where I think it was the second, made it default to where it's a one-step checkout. No longer do you have, the only checkout button you have is, hey, complete checkout, right? You no longer have to go from customer information, shipping information, payment information, complete. It's just, here's my thing, complete. So they made that easier for us. Okay, cool. To end, make sure you understand that purchases are the most important variable. If I have a cost per purchase of under $50, preferably under $40, I don't give a hoot or holler about what any of my other metrics mean. I could have a $5 cost per link click, a $29 add to cart, a $39 initiate checkout, and a $40 purchase, and I'm, happy in a pig in muck. Why? Because I'm in the purchase business. You're in the purchase business. All we really care about are purchases. The reason I give you all of these other metrics, the $10, the $2 per link click, the $20 add to cart, those are to help you cull or kill products that aren't going to make it for you. It's to help make sure you're as efficient as possible with your budget. Okay? That's the only purpose they serve. The only thing I care about is cost per purchase at the end of the day. It's all you should care about too, because that's how we get paid. And I don't know about you, I don't care about my CTR. I care about like how much money I have in the bank. You should too. All right, let me go into Q&A time. Let's see what we got. Okay, let me scroll up to the top. If you have questions on anything I've said on today's lesson, please feel free to post in the comments while I'm scrolling back up and going through the questions. I'll answer as many as I can. I got to hop off here in like 15 minutes. Okay, 15, 20 minutes. I got to go. Our time will wrap up. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. I know it was a lot. I know it's like, it's old hat to me. I've done this conversation. I've taught people like this for years. I've looked at this data for over a decade. A lot of you are not there. A lot of you are, this is holy crap. That was a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. 100% get it. That's why we record these. Watch it more than once. You don't get penalized or called a failure if you watch this teaching 17 times, if that's what it takes to get it into your head and understand it. It's okay. All right, let me go into some questions. Thanks for doing this. Roberta from New Hampshire. Hello, more swag. Wow, what a great support. ShineOn. Shine Sport's the best. Glad to learn about more ads. Okay, so I got to figure out the animation thing. This is just the intro stuff. Here we go. So what about interests when testing? Okay, so what are my interests when I test? None. Zero. Nada. What do I test then? 18 and up. Male and female. But Jim, what if it's from dad? I don't care. Why? That is a stark difference from me 2 years ago. Stark difference from me 12 years ago. I was looking for audiences that were like 25,000 people large, because Facebook's algorithm couldn't find them. They found them based off the interests. So then I had to dig to find the interests, to find the people that were interested. Guess what? Facebook knows. Facebook knows far too much about all of us. We're on Facebook, right? Facebook knows far too much about each one of us. Now, when I test, I do not put any interest down. Facebook knows. Facebook will find the people for me. When I scale, that's when I start introducing more interests, okay? To give Facebook a new starting block. But when I test, it's all broad. Most of my scaling nowadays is on broad, and it's actual vertically scaling. For those of you old dogs in the room, you'll know the difference between vertical and horizontal. Horizontal is where you add more and more interest, trying to expand your ad budget that way. So I do that. That's horizontal scaling. That's where I have broad, meaning everybody on Facebook. I duplicate, and then I say dog lovers. Okay, another very big, broad audience that I know to spend money. I know what your next question is going to be. Okay, Jim, you've done your testing on no targeting, and now you're ready to expand into targeting to try and scale horizontally. What targets do you pick? I pick big, broad targets that I know spend money. Okay? Dog lovers love to spend money on their dogs. Right? Sports people love to spend money on sports. So hunters love to spend money on hunting. So any major, like tens of millions of people group that spend money, That's what your interest expansion is. Gone are the days that if you have a dad product from dad to daughter, gone. I'm going to submit this, and this goes against all conventional wisdom, blah, blah, blah. And y'all can hate me or not. I don't really, it's fine. I have data and sales to prove it. And the longer you guys stick with this, your mentality is better for me because I make more money. Gone are the days where if I'm selling a product to a dad, from a dad to a daughter. So I'm selling the product to dads. Gone are the days that I need to use daughter as my interest. Facebook does not, all that does is increase CPMs and competition for me. It's not necessary anymore. Okay. And again, this is a stark difference in opinion from me even last year. Last year, I started messing around with, well, let me just go broad, see what happens. Like beyond the ShineOn stuff that I sell, I also have another little business. It's my wife's business and I run the ads on it. She sells a crafting product. It's very, very niche product. Like the interest on Facebook for this particular product has about 3.5 million people in the audience. All of those ads are also with no targeting right now because Facebook knows. Okay. All right. Next part of your question. You said one ad set. Who are you usually targeting in the ad set or just broad? Answer that question for you. So much information. Can't see your sheet. It's blurry. It's fine. It's fine. If following your metrics to be paying attention, how long should we test a product before we kill it? It's not a matter of time. So the question is, if following our metrics to be paying attention, how long should we test a product before we kill it? It is not a matter of time. It's a matter of spend. Okay. You could put an ad set budget of $100 on 10 products and get the whole test done in a day. Right? Because you budget $100. Is there a law that says if you budget $100, you have to spend $100? Nope. Nope. So keep an eye on it. You could have a rule. You could program a rule in Facebook Ads Manager to shut off all ads after like $10 in ad spend occur. Shut off the ad if cost per link click is above $2. However, if you put that automatic rule on there, it will also kill it if it's above $2 and it has an add to cart or initiate checkout or purchase, right? So you would still need to go back and double check that. I don't trust, and then afterwards, I don't necessarily trust the automatic rules because there's a delay in attribution. Facebook will take a while to delay the attribution a little bit. So what I say to that is after, like, do it manually. Go in. After you spend $10, go in and do a judge. Cull your stuff that's not working well. After $35 in ad spend of the leftovers, kill whatever doesn't have add to carts to spec. After $50 to $100, whatever doesn't have purchases to spec, kill it and move on. Okay. But you could do that in a day, right? If the ultimate test is spend $100 on a product and you want to kill it if it doesn't perform the way you need it to perform, and I'm in a hurry, I could budget $100 for this product. After $10 of spend, so after morning session, I go in, this one's fine, these 5 are not. Kill these 5. Cool. Now I'm only spending $100 the rest of the day, or $90 potentially the rest of the day. Then I spend my $35. And if I spent $35 and I don't have added carts, I can kill whatever doesn't, and I can let run, right? And it's all happening in the same day. You don't need to have tests run 4, 5, 6 days. That is more determined on your budget. Okay. If you are really tight on your budget and you're like, man, it's scary to me. And especially if you have a job, right? Like if you have a job and you're letting ad spend run throughout the day and you can't access your ad manager every couple of hours to say, did it spend $10 yet? Did it spend $8 yet? Did it spend that $20, $35 yet? If you don't have the freedom to be able to check that, then you may want to dial it back. Maybe you say, okay, I want my test to last 2 days. And so I'm going to budget $35 a day. So day one, you can get through your click test and your add to cart test. So at the end of the ad, well, if you start your ad, if you set up your ads today and you start them at midnight tomorrow, then you will spend your full 35. The first day of an ad, if you start it later in the day, it will spend a prorated amount. And then the next day it'll spend the full amount. So like I start my ads at 6:30 in the morning. So if I have a $35 budget and I start at 6:30, then I'll spend like $28 to $30. I won't spend the full 35. Okay. But if you start your ads at midnight, you can spend $35 to get through the click test and the add to cart test in one day. And then day two, that'd get you, if you let it go all day, you'd spend $70 on the leftovers. And hopefully by then you have 2 sales. Like if you spend $70 in 2 days, you have 2 sales and everything's hunky-dory, right? That's your ideal situation. But it's not a time limitation, it's a budget limitation. My current testing strategy. So my current testing strategy is I typically test somewhere between 10 and 20 products. I will set up for a $50 a day test. So it's a 2-day test. And I do what I just outlined there. I have one campaign for the test. So all products are related to the same niche. They all go in the same campaign. I have one ad set per product. And then I have a DCT ad. The DCT ad is a dynamic creative testing ad. It's a toggle switch to turn on in the ad set level. And then in the ad level, I do 3 different images. So it's the same image with 3 different text callouts. Like you guys, I'm sure have seen, if you've seen any of the ads, a lot of them say like, I cried reading this, or she cried reading this. I do variations of that. And then, so I use I cried reading this as a control, and then I'll do variations of it. And it's all in a DCT ad. So I'm not rotating it. Facebook is controlling all of that. So I've got 3 images, and then I'll do 2 primary texts. The primary text I have ChatGPT write for me. I literally, like the last time I did it was, I said, hey, ChatGPT, write me 2 primary texts to go for a Facebook ad that's going to drive massive amounts of clicks, like never seen before. Like I tell that, I don't know if it does anything to it, but I like to say that. And I say, you're trying to sell a product for, and then you tell all about the product. And then you say, and it comes with this awesome message card. And then you copy and paste the message in. And then it'll spit out some really phenomenal primary text. And then I do 2 headlines. So I have 3 creatives, 2 primary texts, 2 headlines, all one DCT ad. And that's how I set up. And that's each product, right? So it's a lot of a setup, but it's what's working best for me right now. And then I run the test just like I outlined to you guys. After $10, if you're over $2 cost per link click, goodbye. And then if you're over $20 after $50 in add to carts, goodbye. And then if you don't have at least 2 purchases after $100, goodbye. That's how I run my tests. What's next? Marsha, I think I answered that. I sell primarily ShineOn products. But then my wife has her business, and I help manage her advertising of her business. So yeah. And then when we talk about killing a product, is it removed from your shop too? No, just the ads. So Doreen asked, when you kill a product, do you also remove it from your store? No, because I want my store to look like a marketplace. Like there's options. Somebody may buy it somewhere down the road. So no, I do not remove that product. I just kill the ad itself. Angela says, wish ShineOn offered shirts. I'm not allowed to say this, but stay tuned. Remove quantity. So remove quantity. Great question. Now, if you are selling love niche, so wife, soulmate, something where people should not have more than one of, yes, remove quantity. If you have offspring, daughter, son, or grandson, granddaughter, keep quantity on. Is this set up properly already with the ShineOn Fascinating? Yes. Yeah, just don't add to it. Don't add third-party apps that's going to slow down and have pop-ups in our face and annoy visitors. I I have done sales. They do work. So this person says, has anyone tried having a higher price in the store? So let's say I want my end price to be $50, but my retail price is $100. And then instead of having it automatically discounted in the store, showing like, compare at prices, it'll actually be to get this price, you have to use this coupon code. I do that all the time. It works great. You're welcome. Alison Masterclass right now. I have here. Do buyers hesitate to purchase a new product without any reviews? So this question is, do buyers hesitate to purchase a new product when there's no reviews during the testing phase? There is an impact to where if you have reviews, it will help add to carts. That is absolutely true. Is it a killer for it? No. I've had plenty of brand new products be successful, okay, during testing phase. Adding reviews does help to an extent, but there's like a cap. Like if you get over 100 reviews, it's really not an extra lift. Like if you have 1,500 reviews, it's not like your add to carts go down to $7. Price will do that. Like having a very enticing price on the front end will jack up add to carts more than any other factor. But caveat here, if you're going to play with your price, and by play with your price and entice people to add to cart, let's use logic, it's usually a cheaper price. If you do a cheaper front end price and you do not have a back end, I charge shipping. I have an upsell and a downsell, or 2 upsells. I have a thank you page upsell, and I have a welcome series, right? If you do not have that in place, do not lower your prices. You will not be successful. Even like raw CPA will go down. Cost per purchase will go down with a cheaper price. It will. But the loss of revenue because you made the price cheaper, unless you recoup that money somewhere else, somewhere down the funnel, within that first 24-hour period, it's a net loss. Ask me how I know that. Because I've done it. Do you initiate testing at midnight? I start my ads at 6:30. What do you do if you have loads of traffic, cheap GPC and high CTR, but not ATC? Is this due to the product or what is it exactly? It depends. If you are just starting out, I'm going to answer this question, and then I'll answer the scaling question, and then I got to go. So 2 more questions, and then I'll go. So this question is good. If you've got really, really good cost per link click, meaning it's like 50 cents, $1, something like that, but you have no add to carts after like $20, what's wrong? It's because you have a brand new account, and Facebook is, even though you've asked Facebook to optimize, or TikTok, optimize for purchases, it can't, because it has no data on you yet. It has no data on your store. It has no data on your ads. It has no data on your products. So even though you're asking it to optimize for purchase, until you get some fires on all of the events, like a handful, 2, 3, something like that, it can't optimize. So it's going to optimize for link clickers first, meaning you're going to get really cheap link clicks and then nothing else. So if you're just starting out, brand new account, Q4 is my jam. Okay, I did what Jim said. I've got really cheap traffic, but no add to carts. My product page must be really jacked up. Not necessarily if it's a brand new account and you haven't had any add to carts firing on the pixel. So a way around that, if you want to expedite that process, believe it or not, is to make sure your pixel is installed on the Shopify store, go into incognito on a web browser and click add to cart, and then click initiate checkout, and then go have your family and friends do the same thing on theirs. Okay? Because you will then force Facebook's pixel event to fire. That will expedite that process. Easiest setup for scaling. Easiest setup for scaling is just what I outlined for you earlier. It's just higher budget. So scaling is not complicated. If you have a winning product that is ready to be scaled, it will scale. You'll increase the budget, meaning you'll go from like $50 a day to $200 a day, and your cost per acquisition will not jack up drastically. A way to also control that during Q4 would be to go to manual bid. So you would duplicate your original in the same campaign, have your budget go up to, I don't know, $500,000, and then control the spend with a manual bid. Okay. Scaling is not hard. Just understand that it doesn't always work immediately. Sometimes when I go from 50 to like $100, my scaling normally goes 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 300. And then normally that's where I cap out on that particular ad set. And then what I do then is I duplicate back to the $100 and I rotate in new creatives. Okay. Same setup, broad, DCT ad, just new creatives. So Facebook can optimize something new. Okay. That's what it likes to do. And then once it catches, then I'll go 150, 300. And then I usually stop, because what I've noticed is once you get beyond, in Q4 times, once you get beyond $300, auto bid, lowest cost, whatever they're calling it now, it usually loses integrity. Like your return on investment goes wonky and you start losing money. So if you want to go on a single ad set above $300, you have to flip to manual budget or manual bidding. Then you go to 500,000, 5,000, whatever. It just depends on what you're able to do. There are ceilings for scale. Every product has a scaled ceiling. Some people's scaled ceiling are like $15,000 a day. Other product scaled ceilings are $300 a day. You don't know until you try to push the budget. Cool? All right. Albert Doherty, this will be my last question. Are there any other hurdles to getting the first sale? Have a great product. That wins out every time. If I have a great product and a mediocre ad and a mediocre funnel, I'll still get sales. If I have a mediocre product, great ads, and a great funnel, I'm going to struggle. So figure out what it means to have a great product. Okay. For us, for our gift items, our wheelhouse that has been ShineOn for the last forever, it's a very emotionally pulling, tear-jerking type of statement to a family member during a gift time. Q4 is all about gifts. Families all are scrambling about, how do I get, a gift for so-and-so? My name is Jim Cremella. CT wants to know what my name is. It's in the thing, but it's Jim Cremella. Cool. All right, y'all. That is it for me. You got 7 bonus, or I guess you got 2 extra bonus minutes for me. I want to thank you all, for those of you all 50, whatever, dozens of you that are on here. I really appreciate you hanging out with me for an hour and a half. Holy cow, I've been on for an hour and a half. For an hour and a half, hopefully it was helpful. Do not take this information lightly, and make sure, please watch this more than once. Okay. Unless you've been in this a while, like David. David's like, man, that was a great refresher. David's been in this thing a long time. He's been doing this for years, right? He's seen this multiple times. If this was the first time you've seen this, you need to watch this more than once. Okay. Watch it until you understand each component. Yes, it's recorded. It'll be posted automatically once I end. Cool. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing Friday. Stay shiny out there, and I can't wait to see what you all do in Q4. Bye for now.